This portion of programming on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by the Office of Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning at Nassau Community College, who now offers 3D printing workshops for those interested in learning the basics.
From setting up and maintaining 3D printers to common terminology and best practices on how to navigate and utilize transformative tools available on Autodesk 123. This full-day primer, particularly for educators, is being offered on Friday, November 10th. Walk away with ideas on how to incorporate 3D printing into your workplace or classroom. For more information, contact the Center for Workforce Development at 516-572-7487 or visit ncc.edu. The voice of Nassau Community College.
It's all I listen to.
90.3 WHPC.
WHPC HD, Garden City.
Available on the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome to the last 10 o'clock edition of From the Press Box. As next week, Labor Day, we go move up an hour. We start at 9 o'clock. We'll be on from 9 to 10. Morning Madhouse moves 7 to 9 a.m. Big Ed moves to 10 to 12 with the Good Gold Show. So lots of things in the programming department are changing here at WHPC. For more details, go to our website, www.ncc.edu/WHPC. I am your co-host for this fine show from the Press Box. My name is Rob Leonard, and joining me is a guy I shared a bedroom with for many years. He is my brother, because, you know, that's what brothers do. They share bedrooms.
I guess.
You know, our friend Joe had to sleep with two other brothers in the same bedroom.
There you go.
So just, that happens until Tim moved out. He said, I'm sick of Rob snoring.
True. I did say that.
He did, because I snore like a banshee. And even back when I was thin, I snored like a banshee.
I don't know if it's a banshee. More like a kind of a chainsaw.
Well, you know. So anyway, we talk sports every Monday, and there's always a lot of sports to talk about every week. And I was surprised, Tim, that you want to talk about the Mayweather-McGregor fight, because, you know what? I was kind of shocked it went 10 rounds.
I think a lot of people were shocked it went 10 rounds. But I think Mayweather wanted it to go 10 rounds. And here's why. He tried to make a bet at a sports book in Las Vegas.
He did?
He did. He walked in with,
is that allowed?
I presume, a briefcase full of money.
Is that allowed?
Apparently not, but that's where my story is going.
Oh, okay.
He wanted to bet, apparently, that the fight would end not only in the 10th round. I think he's wanted it to be so specific that he wanted to bet that he would end the fight early in the 10th round, like in the first half of the 10th round, which is exactly what he did. And I don't know the casino that he went to. I don't know if he actually said it. I heard the story after the fight. But he said that the casino would not take a bet from him. Now,
you can understand why.
Well, of course. I mean, just the fact that he wanted to make a bet on a fight he was fighting in, obviously, who could have more influence over a fight than him? And I'm sure, obviously, he was confident that he was going to win. I think anybody with a clue about boxing in general knew that Mayweather was going to win this fight. I said as much last week when I was telling people, don't pay $100 to watch the fight. I still think people who did that were stupid. And I'm a little upset that nobody sent me a check for $100 rather than watching the fight. We got no checks.
I don't expect one. Yeah.
Well, I expect people to be smarter. Let's put it that way than to waste $100 on something that was very predictable before they even stepped in the ring.
Well, you know what bothered me about the fight?
What's that?
I didn't buy it. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, I guess, and
they had to delay the fight,
right?
Because the feed wasn't working.
Right.
Dick Vitale couldn't get the feed. He was on Twitter.
Right.
And he said he had a picture of his family in front of the television that had just I think it was a red bar going through it that said you can't get, the fight feed is not available, whatever, and nobody at Dickie V's cable company was answering the phone.
Well, they probably weren't there.
They delayed the fight for, I think, at least 45 minutes.
Well, what bothered me was after SNL, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I'm flipping around. I get to channel 69 on Optimum Cable here on Long Island.
Okay, I don't know what channel it is.
That's Fox Sports 1.
Okay.
And they're doing a post-fight show talking about the fight.
Then it was probably a pre-fight show.
No, it was a post-fight show.
I don't know what time it started here.
Really?
12:45?
Really?
1 o'clock?
Was it start that late? Then I guess I was watching the pregame.
Maybe I don't know. I didn't,
but they also announced that that Mayweather had won.
Well, then it had to be a post fight.
Yeah.
So.
But imagine you're doing a show on a post fight. It's a video thing that actually showed some video.
Right. They show clips.
But you know what? I know on the newspapers, each round gets a write up because that's what they do.
Right.
But imagine you just paid $100, you watch the fight, but then you find out literally right after the fight with video, guys talking about the fight that just happened, and the $100 doesn't seem like a good investment at that time.
Well, it's an investment for people who want to watch the fight, who want to be involved in that buzz, for people who buy into the hype. That's more what it is that people wind up getting suckered by the hype of the fight. That's what happened with so many Mike Tyson fights. Oh, let's see Mike Tyson. Let's see. Can somebody beat him? I want to watch when Mike Tyson gets beaten, and then Mike Tyson would knock a guy out in the first round, and you just wasted $40 because back then $40 was a lot for pay-per-view.
It was actually $49.99.
Well, whatever. But now $100 for Floyd Mayweather to fight a guy who was in his first boxing match.
Right.
And I posted a story on my Facebook feed. Wallace Matthews, who's been on the show, a friend of the show, Wally Matthews.
Right. Big boxing guy
who doesn't cover a lot of boxing anymore, but as far as I'm concerned, is still one of the preeminent boxing writers in this country. And his point was, and it was a good point, and it was a simple point, was if Floyd Mayweather was fighting MMA, Conor McGregor would win the fight. But Conor McGregor was boxing and in a boxing ring.
Right.
And that's why Floyd Mayweather was never going to lose this fight.
Well, that's a good point. I was a friend of mine on Facebook had posted she'd watched the fight on Sunday night and she wanted to know why the fight was stopped. And basically, McGregor couldn't stop any punches.
Right. McGregor
but she said something interesting. She says in MMA you keep going,
right,
until you basically can't move anymore,
right, until it's obvious that if somebody continues to punch you, that he could kill you,
and that's maybe a new generation's look at fighting too. That's something to look. She's like 24 or something.
Well, but the referee's decision to stop the fight, and for anybody who didn't see the fight, McGregor by the 10th round couldn't even hold his hands up to protect himself. That's how tired he was,
right.
And his claim after the fight was some sort of MMA BS about, well, I usually I get my second wind, and my second wind was coming. No, Conor, stop. Your second wind wasn't coming. You were gassed. All right. He could, like I said, he could not lift his hands to defend himself. Floyd Mayweather, who is not a big puncher, who's not a knockout guy, was hitting Conor McGregor at will. And he wasn't hitting him with bombs necessarily, but he was hitting him over and over and over. And it got to the point where the referee correctly stepped in to stop the fight because Conor McGregor was no longer defending himself. And all it takes is one shot for real damage to be done.
Sure.
So it was just a matter of, is Floyd Mayweather going to get up in Conor McGregor's face and really unload with a bomb, whether it's a left hook, a right uppercut, whatever, and really damage Conor McGregor. And there was no reason for that to happen. It was obvious that McGregor was done. There was no reason to continue the fight. And for him to say that his second win was coming was an absolute joke.
Well, any boxer would say that. Oh, I'm going to come back. Well, no, you're not.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There was no way he was. I mean, it was already the 10th round. There was only 2 rounds left. If his second win was coming, he needed to show up in the 10th round, and it didn't. So
Merriweather, Made $100 million?
More.
At least.
More. See, the thing that bothered me so much about this fight, one of the things that bothered me so much about this fight, the reason Floyd took it was because Floyd's production company, his promotion company, was one of the promoters.
Right.
All right? Dana White and what is it, UFC, they were promoted. There were 3 promoters.
Right.
And Mayweather probably is going to make, when all is said and done and the pay-per-view is counted, he's probably going to make somewhere around $300 million off of this fight.
Incredible.
So, of course he took the fight. And for all of this nonsense about, oh, this is the fight the public wanted.
That's
maybe
crap.
Maybe it was. But if that's the case, then it just shows you how stupid the public is. Because why would anybody want to see this fight? Why would anybody want to? I mean, first of all, you can never.
It's like Batman versus Superman. You know, it's the same attitude.
Not even. But it's almost like that because, all right, let's face it, Batman is a human being. And he's got a really cool utility belt with all kinds of gadgets in it. But you know what? Superman can just pick him up and throw him across the country.
Yeah, but Batman's smart, too. You know?
Well, it's not smart enough to get away from Superman. He's not quick enough.
Okay.
So, but the point being that one way or the other, it was going to have to be either a boxing match or an MMA match. And there's no way Floyd would have accepted an MMA match. So now Conor McGregor, who's never been in a boxing ring before, now has to learn how to box and be a boxer. And he was never going to win the fight. You're not going to beat one of the best boxers of all time when you've had a couple of months or a few months to get ready for a fight.
I think we have a phone call, brother. Let's
Who's
see
that?
who it is. You're on the air on From the Press Box. What's your question or comment?
Hello, this is John from Freeport. How are you?
Hey, John from Freeport.
What do you got to say?
I have to say that I would pay $50 just to watch Floyd Mayweather get hit in the head once. It's worth every single penny. So that's why
With a
that's
clean
why
shot.
I bought the fight. I don't care if he could win or not, which he could have won. He won like 4 of the first 5 rounds, 4 of the first 6 rounds, depending on what you scored. If he could have gone the distance, he probably would have won the fight. And there's no saying that an MMA fighter can't train hard enough to be able to go all 12 rounds. It was harder than he thought. He got knocked out in the 10th. He was winded in the 6th, just like De La Hoya was winded in the 6th a few years ago.
Right.
And then he made it to the 9th. He almost got knocked out in the 9th. He made it through the 9th, and he couldn't lift his hands in the 10th, which is true. So it's good they stopped the fight. But why would you buy the fight? Because he had a good chance. I mean, when he actually started boxing and getting in, it seems like I heard on the radio he hit him with an uppercut, but I didn't see an uppercut the entire fight. And Mayweather would just turn around and duck and like hold his ears and so please don't allow to punch me in the back of the head, and that was his defense. If the McGregor knew what he was doing, knew how to take 2 steps to the right and nail him with an uppercut, it seemed like he was just pawing at the top of his head. And anytime Mayweather would turn around and hold his ears, they'd have to break it up. Don't hit him in the back of the head. Don't hit him in the back of the head.
Right.
But if he knew what to do in that situation, it would have been a much different fight, and a rematch would go a lot differently. Not that I believe there's going to be a rematch, because now there's a chance McGregor can beat him. Mayweather will never take the fight. Like
No.
there's a number 1 contender out there for Mayweather right now. He's not going to fight. He never fights anybody who can beat him. He does his homework, and
yeah, but Floyd's done. Floyd's done. He's not fighting again.
Floyd's not fighting again, right?
He's not. There's no reason for him to fight again.
He's
he just made
he'll
$300
fight
million.
Canelo Alvarez in 2 years when he's 50, when he's 43. There's no need for it. $150 million. That's the reason for him to fight.
He just made $300 million. He doesn't need another $150 million.
He didn't need this $150 million.
I don't know. The guy, he does like to gamble.
I suppose he does. He likes to beat up women, which he has to pay for. But,
that's something
That's another topic entirely. But no, he did. I did see McGregor did land an uppercut. I'm pretty sure it was in the 2nd round. I mean, hit him with a pretty good shot.
It seemed like he didn't throw another one for the whole fight. I don't remember it, but I heard him say it on the radio.
That's what Floyd Mayweather does, and that. I mean, I don't. Did you see the Pacquiao fight with Mayweather?
Yes.
Were you thoroughly unimpressed with that fight?
Well, later I found out that Pacquiao was hurt, so I was unimpressed. I was completely unimpressed. That's why I really didn't want to get this. And I said, in the long run, I thought he may not touch him. So when McGregor actually hit him a couple of times, it was worth every penny to me, So that's why I called big. He said, why would anybody watch? I watch it just to get hit a couple of times because I think he's a real jerk. Not because I don't think he's going to, I'm pretty sure he's going to win the fight, Mayweather. I'm not expecting McGregor to win the fight, but on the weird chance that he gets the crap beat out of him in the 5th, I love to see that 5th round where he just gets, punched and punched. Anytime he punched Mayweather, I'm willing to pay for it, and I hope that he loses.
John,
No.
are you an MMA fan?
No, I don't. I don't watch it. It's a little too brutal for me. It's
Okay,
not that I like it or dislike
so
it.
you looked at this as a legitimate boxing match then, and not just